Hey, product bosses, Minna here. Just a quick heads up that the audio on this episode is not great. I'm actually not sure what happened, but I think it has something to do with two biz besties co-hosting and recording in a garage in Iowa, usually never recording in person and not having the greatest of tech skills. So that's pretty much the gist of it. But aside from that, this episode is really, really, really good. And it really talks about the benefits of having an online business listing, online in a directory. And this is something that I think is super important as we're thinking about fourth quarter and our marketing budgets, the things that might have a good return on investment. So I want you to really wrap your minds around the potential a business listing could bring to you as a small business. And spoiler alert, drum roll here, at the end of this episode, we actually announced to you that we are creating the Product Boss Small Biz Shopping Directory. And it gives you an option if you're ready to have your business be in a listing. We can help spotlight your business and get the most eyes on your products during this time to help you with your visibility. We're so excited about that. And that brings me to why I kind of hopped in here and did the spoiler alert, which is that we actually announced the Small Biz Shopping Directory to our email list 2 days ago. And some of the categories sold out in minutes. Literally minutes. And it was amazing. But I wanted to make sure that you knew that you needed to hop over to theproductboss.com/apply now to make sure you grab your spot in the directory before they're all gone. And I have the link in the show notes for you to click on. And this podcast episode, you can come back and listen to it or listening to it as you're grabbing that listing. And it will really help you understand a business directory listing and the benefits of that from a strategy standpoint, which is really important as a small business owner as well. So let's jump right in. Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we help product-based businesses grow their sales and improve their strategies.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to my co-host and biz bestie, Minna Kunlo-Sitep, an Amazon guru that has built a multi-six-figure product-based business.
And introducing the other half of the Product Boss, Jacqueline Snyder. She has helped launch and grow over 500 fashion apparel and accessory brands, even one of her own.
And together, we share our inventory of secret weapons that will help you dig deep and do the work it takes.
Are you ready? Let's build together.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Product Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Jacqueline Snyder, with my in-person co-host, Minna Kunlo-Sitep. Hey Minna.
Hey Jacqueline.
So we are recording this episode out of Minna's garage. I am driving across America with my kids and my husband and my dog, and we stopped in Iowa, and we're socially distancing, recording outside on lavalier wireless mics in a garage, 6 feet apart, while our children are here. So if you hear noise in the background or wind, it's because, again, this podcast is brought to you by Minna's garage.
And you'll hear this intro on a few of our episodes because we're doing more than one episode while we have these pockets of time together. And we just want to make sure that you know what's coming at you from this garage.
So we wanted to talk to you about this because it is so important as we're coming upon, or we are in Q4, and we know that online sales are going to be the highest. It's like record breaking, the highest that they'll ever be online. And we know that there's a big day in the middle of the Cyber 5, which is, usually from Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Shop Small Biz Saturday, Sunday's typically sales, and there's Cyber Monday, right? And so we want to talk to you about Shop Small Biz. And really the whole thing here is, why are online business directories important for your business, especially in Q4?
Right. I mean, you'll also see in Q4 directories popping up as well as gift guides. So anything where there's a listing of a collection of businesses, usually it comes out in quarter four because that is the time when businesses are getting ready for the new year and also getting ready for Q4, the shopping season.
Right. And, typically in years past and other years, people may be shopping their local towns. They might be going to malls.
Right.
They shop in person. So even they might come upon a brick and mortar. Well, this year, it's a little bit harder to discover new products and new brands without either the customer looking for it, right? So they might be searching for something like gifts for mom, or Google searching, or going on Pinterest, looking at a very specific product. Or they might be marketed to, so they might be receiving ads for certain products. But the thing that we want to talk to you about is the reason why we think being listed in a directory is so important is the visibility and the reach that you're going to get to new customers that maybe wouldn't have discovered you otherwise. And it's really important that they discover you online and shop from you online, especially this year.
Yeah. And I think that intentionally people, they have so many decisions. They're living their lives. They're not going to go online and try to dig for all these different things. But when they have a directory, it makes the decision making easy for them, because they're like, oh, look at this. It's, this directory or whatever it is. And they can just kind of peruse that, and they already know why they're there.
Right. So remember, everyone's going to be going to the internet to purchase their gifts and everything they need for the holidays in Q4 this year. They're going on the internet. Well, they're also going to be searching on the internet, right? They're going to be consuming. So if you don't have an ads budget where you're getting in front of, thousands and thousands of customers, if you don't have a brick and mortar where you have a sign out store that says, please come in and shop now. If you feel like you are you feel like you need to get in front of more people, more customers, right? You have your online presence on social, but you want to know, how do I acquire new customers? How do I get new followers? If you are trying to grow your email list, you're like, how do I get more people to sign up for my email list? If you're doing all of the things that we teach you in every other episode in our courses, and you're feeling like, I really want to get in front of other eyes, we have the answer for you. And one of those ways would be to get into a online directory.
Right. It's probably the simplest ways, right? One of the simplest ways is finding that visibility, because visibility comes down to brand awareness, traffic, just being discovered. And I think that it is one of the easiest ways is to find a directory, become a part of it.
Right.
And it's simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk about 5 different benefits to being in an online shop small business directory. So number 1 benefit is that it will improve your online presence. So when we say improve your online presence, I know a lot of you sell only online. A lot of you have scrambled to get online this year. But nonetheless, we see, there's been this huge shift to online during the pandemic, and it may not shift back. The convenience of ordering online, even curbside pickup, getting things shipped to you. We've seen it with Amazon and Amazon Prime.
Right. We always saw it leaning towards online.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic just pushed it more so because
quicker.
Yeah. And I think it was shipping easy. Was it shipping easy or Shopify that said over 70% of people will be shopping online for all their Christmas presents or holiday presents this holiday season. And that just goes to show you, like, they were already headed towards that direction, because we already knew online shopping, mobile shopping was really taking over Cyber 5. And now all the more reason, because people are wanting to shop safe and warm in their homes.
Correct. So, there's, for those of you that are older, remember, Yellow Pages.
Oh yeah. Right.
Right. And that's where you could shop locally, and you could find, local businesses. You'd kind of open it and you'd be like, dry cleaners, and you find yourself a dry cleaners, or wine shop, and you could find that. So this, like an online business directory, really helps you find what you're looking for. So that improve your online presence, it almost gives you additional websites that you're listed on, or even for your own business. So as you're listed in directories, or, and you have your website and you have your online presence and you have your social media, then you're also listed in another online place. Which is incredible for your business, because again, we talk about getting on other people's platforms to get in front of other people's audiences. And so that's what you're doing. You're on their platform and getting in front of the eyes that they serve and service?
Yeah, I think we've seen like old school for sure. It would be the yellow pages. Then locally, a lot of like
local business commerce.
You guys all know what we're talking about. It's like it's so elusive right now, the words. But it's the better business commerce. I don't even know, but they do the listings of a local area. Like for instance, for Ankeny, we would have those listings of all those local businesses. Also, you see a lot of bloggers do this.
Chamber of Commerce?
Chamber of Commerce, thank goodness. Chamber of Commerce. So a lot of people who are part of the Chamber of Commerce, if you have a local brick and mortar, you often pay to be a part of that directory. But there's also online ones. Sometimes they show up in the list of gift guides. Sometimes they show up in the list of, here's baby referrals or whatever, you know, baby stuff referrals. So you see them everywhere. So they just show up differently in each case.
Right. Okay. So the second benefit of being in an online, business directory would be to boost your website SEO. Now, I love this. All of you that are students in Multi-Stream Machine, you know that I love the SEO module, and we teach you in that course how to grow your SEO,
which is search engine optimization.
Thank you. Yeah. So your search engine optimization, which means that it ensures your website to appear at the top of search results, right? So for that target keyword. So what does that mean? That means if somebody types in silver jewelry, for example, 100% none of you are going to show up at the top of silver jewelry unless you're paying for ads that are using those specific keywords, because I'll bet you actually, why don't I'm going to Google it right now while we're on, and I'll tell you what shows up on Google as number one.
They might show up if it's like silver jewelry in Colorado.
Maybe.
Or silver jewelry with turquoise, right? Those long tail keywords, but showing up for silver jewelry, I think would be quite hard.
So you want to know who, okay, so there's a little bit of ads, right? So anyone that advertises for silver jewelry is the first thing. Then I get local results to here in Iowa of jewelry places. But number one, my friends, is Tiffany's.
Oh, of course it is.
So we know that we can't compete with Tiffany's for silver jewelry in terms of like the Google search terms specifically, right? But if silver jewelry is a big part of your brand, I'm talking like real silver, and it's a big part of your brand, the more often you're listed on other people's websites, like your name plus silver jewelry, the more that Google starts to connect the dots. It's like a spider web. It's like, oh, okay, this company sells silver jewelry, people search it, and people stay on that page or they purchase based on that search engine optimization. And the more that you connect the dots for Google and prove that these keywords match, it's like a memory game, right? It matches back to your company, then Google's going to keep lifting you up in the rankings of the search term. So while it's going to be really hard to rank against Tiffany's, like Minna said, if maybe there's like a very special necklace that you sell. I remember my best friend went to Tulane in New Orleans, and there was like a red bean, it was like the shape of a bean, and they all wore these necklaces because it was very specific, right? So let's just say it was so specific to that, and it was like the red bean silver jewelry. You may rank top of the SEO for those keywords. And so I guess what we're just trying to teach you about SEO a little bit here is that it's much bigger than this, but SEO is the more connect the dots between your company and other websites, the higher your search is.
Right. And I think it comes down to like, Google wants to show you what's relevant to you, right? So you're Googling on the Google machine and you type those words in and they have connected the dots and they're like, I want to show them relevant pages.
Right.
Well, if there's a backlink, now we're getting in deep here. There's a backlink of them having a directory, having your business name put together with fine jewelry, or not fine jewelry, silver jewelry, and they know that it's relevant. They're going to feed that to someone who's Googling because they know it's relevant at that point, right? Because they understand that that's what the customer or the Googler is looking for.
Right. So ultimately, one, having SEO and like your search terms and your keywords are going to optimize your website for those words. Plus, being listed on other people's sites, like Minna said, backlinks, which means if you ever search the health of your website and your SEO, it will tell you how many backlinks you have. So what is a backlink? A backlink is when another website links back to your site. So if a blogger writes about you and I'm going to just bring up Little Labels. So a blogger writes about Little Labels and they list Little Labels with a link back to her website. That gives her like a winning point for Little Labels showing up with optimized keywords, right? The higher you go and it says, oh yeah, this is relevant. Let's say another blogger does it, or Amazon has the link to Little Labels. That raises her keyword. So the more places that other people are talking about you in the world of the internet and using your name and linking to your company, the better it is. And I have to tell you, when you sort of work through your SEO and you're trying to understand the health of your website and the searchability of it, it will say you need to have X amount of backlinks to kind of compete for these keywords.
Yeah, because you're ideally wanting to rank, right? And a good example of this is the vote necklace, I feel.
Yeah,
right?
great example.
So somebody put in the vote necklace when they saw Michelle Obama wearing it in, the
Democratic National Convention.
Yeah, the DNC. Then they typed in vote necklace. Then so many people would come up to the ranks. But if your name was already associated with, let's say, vote necklace gold or something, then you're more likely to show up, especially if you have the right backlinks. You have, they know it's relevant, right? And just all those things coming together, because you want to be on that first page of Google when they're searching.
And that's what we saw happen for our masterminder, Larissa Loden, who you have met here on the podcast. She has had a vote necklace on her website for so long. And so by Chiari, who's the one who made the necklace for Michelle Obama, they didn't even it was a custom necklace. So they didn't even know that Michelle Obama was going to wear it. They didn't even have it set up on their page to be something that people could purchase. And so when people went on for the vote necklace, they could not find by Chiari, but guess who they did find? Larissa Loden. And she blew up. And let me tell you, I just Googled vote necklace, and there's by Chiari's number one now, because obviously it really set up the SEO, because people notice. Etsy is the next to Uncommon Goods, Oregon Live, and then Larissa Loden. Larissa Loden Michelle Obama did not wear her necklace, but Larissa Loden is ranked number 5. And then because she's been listed on other kind of directories and listings as
other articles
as if you need a vote necklace, buy it from Larissa Loden. There's Huffington Post, Forbes, Washington Post, all these other blogs that list Larissa Loden in it. So if I put it in there, Larissa's in the top 10 Google results.
And that's a little bit like getting struck by lightning. But the whole thing is that I want you guys to really take from this whole conversation is that she set herself up really well. Because what are the odds that necklace was was a custom necklace not found? Well, the odds are that she made it really great for herself, because she put herself in a good position where she had great SEO. She had backlinks. She was part of directories. She had that in the online sphere, so people were able to easily buy from her. Plus, she has such a great brand presence. They knew they were buying from a small business.
Yeah, it was a quality product.
Yeah, quality product, always very inclusive. Her brand altogether represents what people were wanting from that vote necklace.
Exactly.
And so the relevancy was really high. But the thing is that she had already set up all that tech and everything that had to happen for that to be possible.
So SEO purposes, when we talk about SEO and being listed in business directories, it's the same way that these blogs or Huffington Post went and did a quote unquote business directory of where to find
a roundup.
Yeah, a roundup of where to find vote necklaces, because guaranteed that, I don't know if she was on page 1 for vote necklace originally. I have no idea. I'm looking at it now. But by everybody referencing back to her and having a link from their site to Larissa Loden, so it puts her at number 5. She's, other than the person who created the necklace and Etsy, she's literally like the next person to be listed. Yeah. And Michelle Obama didn't even wear the necklace.
Yeah.
So that just shows you right there it just boosted her SEO. So we love SEO. We find it important whenever we talk to you about your website being a star in the universe and how do people find you. SEO is one of the major ways. It's a longer term play, but being listed on other people's websites, having backlinks, will improve your SEO. So the third benefit to being on an online business directory would be that it increases your brand visibility.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about this in the very first one, but because we're talking about traffic and visibility and brand awareness, when people don't know about you, they don't know about you, right?
Yeah.
They just don't know you exist. And so getting out there and being more visible, I think of this as like when people are listed in a trade show listing. right? All the vendors are listed. And while people think that that might not be great, it is great because you're also visible to those other vendors. You're listed to those people walking through the trade show. You're listed through the people that are working at the trade show. So all of it kind of ties together, and all of it helps you in this strategy towards visibility.
So Designer Consulting Co-op, my other business, I started it in 2007, and online wasn't what we know it to be today. Like, I had an amazing website. It was a Flash website, like with motion, and people were blown away because it was like the first time that Flash came out.
Which they don't support Flash anymore.
I know. I've redone my site like 3 times since I started. So one of the ways, and my business coach had told me, like, you have unbelievable SEO. She's like, for me, she's like, the way that I was discovered, I've never run ads for that business. I didn't have a social presence. I didn't have a podcast for it. I have always been discovered organically. And part of the reason is how long I've had a website, how long I've been in business. But I'll tell you the number one way, because I used to track my analytics, I was listed in a business directory. So there was like a fashion business directory that back in the day I paid for. I think I paid, I don't know if it was like $100 a year or something like that. I paid, and, or no, maybe it was more.
Their SEO is probably amazing as well because they've been around a long time.
They've been around forever. And it's, you guys, it's such a janky website. It's like a website that was created in 2005. But no matter what, like, it was one of the only places online to search for fashion businesses, right? And then I was listed as a consultant. And when I used to ask people how they found me, every single person, I grew a $500,000 business from showing up, twice a year to speak live at events. And my SEO that straight up only came from this business directory and still does. And I'm still listed on this business directory.
From an expert source though, too.
Yeah. But again, it was, exactly. It was an expert source that was curated so specifically to me. So it wasn't just like local businesses in Los Angeles. It wasn't, creative business. It was so specifically to fashion business directory, pattern makers, sewers, consultants, that kind of thing. So if they were searching fashion consultant, it brought up the business directory before it ever brought up my website. They went on there, and then it allowed them to choose from all the listings. And I was listed on there. And like you said, it was a reputable source. And that's how I did it. So I'm not kidding. I've made millions of dollars from that initial investment. I don't even think I fully reflected on that, but millions of dollars over I've been in business for 14 years from investing and paying to be in a directory. So it increases your visibility. And when someone is searching for something, if that platform and that website has more visibility than yours or has different types of visibility, it also, increases your visibility.
Right.
So the fourth, benefit to being in an online directory would be to improve your business reputation.
Yeah, I think this is an important one because coming from the world of Amazon, right, where there's private labeling, and people don't know people from the next listing, that what do? They search you on Google. And when they find a website, wonderful. When they find a business directory that has you listed, even more wonderful, because it validates for you that this isn't a shady business that goes to nowhere,
Right.
And so that is super helpful because your business reputation online is very important. That's why people are very concerned about when something gets Googled, what comes up. If it's nothing, it's like one of those things, no credit is bad credit. When you have no credit, no credit cards, nothing. The same is with the internet, I feel like.
Yeah, if you're unsearchable, if you don't show up, you don't exist.
Yes, exactly.
Because if you have a business, and I know a lot of you sell only on Etsy, I don't even think when you search the name on...
it's possible though.
Okay. It might be, but probably more likely like Etsy is going to show up as the search term and less going to go from Etsy shop to your shop potentially. So this gives a direct link to you, but plus it improves your reputation of being, it's basically like, ooh, this person is listed in a business directory online. They don't, the person who's like the consumer doesn't care whether you paid for it or haven't paid for it or whatever.
It feels vetted.
Yeah. Because someone took the time to put together a directory.
Even if it was the yellow pages, right? Because then when you go through the yellow pages, you're like, oh, they paid to be in the yellow pages.
I used to pay to be in, again, I'm so old school now. There was a local trade paper, so it was called Apparel News. And I actually used to pay for.
I was in the yellow pages.
You were?
I still get phone calls from
the
that listing.
You're like, I don't even know how to get a Yellow Pages these days.
Exactly. People don't even know what Yellow Pages are anymore.
Yeah.
You know, they used to arrive at your doorstep unsolicited. And now, and people would use it to like raise their, you know, Chromebooks or their laptops a little bit higher because they were so thick. But I was listed, and that was the way that this was when direct mail was really popular, business listings. And I really think that people understand the way a listing works. It's just why it lasted the test of time.
And now I think the thing is that there's so much information to consume, right? There's so many listings and things, but especially as a small business and to be a shoppable small business, you know, you see that, like Minna said, the Chamber of Commerce, they will always support local brick and mortar small business. Yeah. But what about all of the local small businesses that are operating from their homes and selling online? There's not a ton of support in that way. You kind of have to be associated with a trade show to be listed on their site during that trade show, or associated, you know, with a physical brick and mortar, which I know a lot of you are. But what about all of the online businesses and trying to be found to be shopped online? So, but nonetheless, I think it does improve your reputation because it feels like you're vetted and you're being presented in a different sort of way to the customer.
Yeah.
So the final benefit that we, you know, see as a benefit to being listed in an online directory is that you can actually dominate the search results. So I know we talked about this a little bit in SEO, but it'll kind of be brought up again. But when you think about search result pages, right, you kind of, it's not that you pay to play, but a little bit, like it's showing up. Like if you're thinking about, I saw this reference online about like Monopoly, right? And Monopoly, when you're buying all of the properties and you're trying to, you know, buy up the whole board, it's the same idea with the search results, right? Like the more places you're listed, you're buying up the board. So you're taking up more space on the internet by being found in more places. And the directory is another place. Like think about it as another spot on the Monopoly board that you're buying, and you're taking up space on the World Wide Web.
Yeah, I like that analogy because it reminds me of like location, right? And when you're thinking about location and the real estate of something, you're thinking, oh, I'm, you know, paying for this piece of real estate on the online market, you know? And so I think it's very similar to that because you want to show up. And there's nicer listings. It's just like, it reminds me of like when people used to pay for quarter page, half page, or full page of the magazine. You took up real estate in that magazine. You know, that Vogue magazine that was full of ads, that's a piece of their real estate, is that page.
I would pay for quarter pages in the newspaper, or quarter ad I would pay for.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
and
the
that
same
was so
idea.
Expensive. It was 1 week. Paper.
$1,500, I bet.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's crazy. It was paper, right? So you can think about that. And I think the apparel news was, it was like you'd buy it for all 5 days that they would run it.
You would batch it, right?
Yeah. And so you'd buy it for those 5 days, and then it went away, right? The papers were thrown away, and you'd have to pay again for the next week to be on the paper. And it was nuts. I mean, it actually, to be honest, again, we're talking beginning of the internet here. I had to tell my clients that were starting fashion businesses, you need to purchase your domain name and at least have a holding page. Like this is how far back it was, even though it doesn't feel like that far back. So, but if you want to talk about the results, the ROI, the, you know, return on your investment, that simple directory that I was listed on made me globally searchable for years versus paying for this paper every quarter, every week.
More legit too. When people know that you're in a magazine, or they know you're in a newspaper, they know they're actually paying to be on the radio. You know, when you hear an advertisement on there, it just feels more legit as well.
It does, but then you have to keep paying. It's expensive. You know, you and I, Minna and I pay for Facebook ads.
Usually you buy like a 12-pack of ads.
Yeah.
You know?
And so we spend thousands and thousands of dollars on ads. We have a different business where we're definitely not we're talking service versus product. But for all of you, so many of you have said to us, like, how do I get more people to find my website? How do I acquire new customers? How do I grow my email list? How do I get people to find me? Because sometimes hands raised, how many of you feel stuck sometimes, like posting? I know we support you in content to post on social media, but sometimes it's like, is this reaching more people?
Yeah.
And we need you to reach more people. And that's why I think, you know, the online business directories are important, because we've talked about all of these benefits.
Yeah.
So we heard you. So here's where we want to go with this. So you've heard Minna and I, like, this has been the year of us pivoting and adapting and figuring it out. And what we realized was in the fourth quarter of this year, our entire goal is to support you all, our product-based business owners. It's to support you, to lift you up, to continue to share you on our platform and to share you on other people's platforms, to just share you, to buy from you, to share, to follow. I know a lot of you are already buying from each other.
Right.
So we want to
really to help you help each other too.
Yeah. So we want to introduce something to you because we heard, listen, we've gotten DMs and emails from people, even within our groups and within our courses, that they have asked us, could we put together a list of businesses so even that they could shop from each other? I'm like, wow, if they want to shop from each other, if a few hundred people want to buy from each other and want to join each other's email lists and want to follow each other and want to continue to support each other. And we have another friend that's a huge podcaster, and she's asked us too. She's been like, do you have a list of your product bosses? I want to do my holiday shopping from your product people. Like
for her clients.
Yeah. She's like, forget all these other people. Actually, 2 huge podcasters have asked us if we had a list or a directory of our product-based business owners, because they would rather buy from you than, just other people, right? They want to support our community. So this is what we want for you. So we're putting together this small business directory. Our team has like a very limited amount of time to do this. We want to get it launched by November 1st. Yep. So it gives people plenty of time to shop from you, to share. It's going to be an online business directory broken down by categories on the Product Bosses website. Minna and I are going to be talking about it on the podcast. We are going to be creating an actual list as well as the online presence, an actual list. So that way we can send it to our big podcaster friends and they too can purchase from you. And it's something that's referable for you too. So if you want to refer people to it, you can as well. And like I said, it raises up your SEO. So this is a paid listing in our Shop Small Business directory, and we have more information on it. And there are tiers. So and we'll break it down for you on the page. So where are they going to find this?
Well, we can kind of go over it, right? Okay. There's the featured listing, and that only has 9 spots per category. And that gives you a shout out on the podcast, which Jacqueline and I will be going through them. We'll also be promoting those via a tag post on Instagram. And those are just a few of the things. And then there's kind of the
middle tier.
Yeah, the middle tier, which is our premium listing. You still get a thumbnail photo. People know exactly where to buy from you because you get linked up. And then there's the text one, which is just a text listing at the bottom, but that gives you a way to be in the directory but not spend a ton of money, right? You're still getting all those benefits.
Our top tier is our featured listing. Our middle tier is our premium listing. And you also get an image and an additional link to one social platform. And again, all these amazing.
Ooh, and we have a downloadable version. So downloadable PDF version that people can download from the website to get it in kind of a yellow pages version.
But it's also another way for us to distribute it too, right? So instead of sending somebody to the link, it could be like, click here to download. And then that text tier, which is the one where we want all of you, if you can't make it into the 2 top tiers, the text tier, if this feels like it's more affordable to your business, you get that basic or standard listing, but you get your text listing with a link. So remember, you're searchable, you've improved your visibility, and you're improving your SEO and your backlinks. And this is just, we're trying this. So this is going to be for Q4 of 2020, and we're going to see how successful it is. And we're going to look back and we're going to audit this for all of you. And what it's going to do though, this is a longer term play. You're going to be listed on our platform. Some of you are going to be mentioned on our podcast. Some of you you're going to be put into our Instagram posts, which we will probably put ad money towards. And so we're going to be paying for advertising to lift you all up and to bring people to this directory. And that's what we want to do for you so that you have the most successful end of the year as possible.
Also, I do want to say that we aren't allowing any MLM companies. And that's because every multi-level marketing direct selling company has their own regulations, and it makes it very difficult for us to do what we want to do.
And they can be a brick and mortar. They can be a maker, a manufacturer. You can sell other people's products. We're just not doing direct sellers on here.
Yeah.
And we'll put a link in the show notes. Grab your spot. We cannot wait to share you with the world. We cannot wait to like scream it from the rooftops or from our microphones and be like, you want to buy something this holiday season, please support our product bosses. You all sell and make such beautiful, amazing things. And we are just so excited to lift you all up.
Yes. So get on there, go check it out. You guys will love it. And the holidays are already here. So get there.
Let's do this.
One last thing before we go. We created this podcast as a reminder that you are not alone. Growing a product-based business is hard, and we want to help you through it. So thank you so much for listening. We truly appreciate it.
And we want to give a special shout out to those of you that have left a review. Thank you. You know that we read every single one of them, including this 5-star rating from Michaela of Southern Comfort Fitteds. She says, I am a product-based business and I just recently found this podcast. I absolutely love your message and the tips you have to share. The entire podcast is almost like taking a masterclass on having a product-based business with some laughter and that real life feeling, but for free. I've heard you talk about doing lives on Instagram with other businesses. I've never been live because I'm nervous about it, but I would love more than anything to try it out for the first time with you. Keep putting out your great stuff because I'll be back for all of them. Thanks,
that's
Michaela.
Really nice.
Really nice. So we love reading these, you know it. They make our day, and these really help us reach more people and help more small businesses, which is our ultimate mission. So thank you to those that have left a review, and thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hey friend, still listening? You really need to go grab your spot for a listing in the Product Boss Small Biz Shopping Directory. This is your season and you deserve the spotlight. Let's get more eyes on your business and products together. Head over to www.theproductboss.com/apply now to grab your listing now.